Hello, I'm James Izimoha. Welcome to Africa News. Let's see your headlines. Leaders gather in Addis Ababa for the China-Africa Innovation Cooperation Day. Somalia introduced new electronic visa system to boost tourism in the country. United Nations report says Nigeria leads Africa in food waste. Cameroon's presidential race is underway with rallies across the country showing stark contrasts. Supporters of long-serving President Paul Biya praise his experience, while opposition crowds rallied behind Cabral Libby, calling for generational change.
Campaigning began in Buea and Douala as Cameroonians voiced support for either Biya's decades of rule or Libya's promise of youthful leadership. Voters are reacting to Biya's 43-year tenure and ongoing national challenges, with youth demanding new energy in governance. Supporters of the ruling party say Biya's steadiness is essential.
Our country, especially the region where I come from, the southwest region, we are faced with some security challenges. We don't want people who are hot-blooded, people who will not be cool as the head of state to lead us at this point in time. We think he has what it takes to lead us at this point in time.
Opposition supporters say it's time for change and younger leadership.
The current regime can no longer work because when you look at the current regime, you see that we need change. A grandfather, he is already almost 100 years old. Now, if we want to replace the grandfather who is almost 100 years old, and we take a father who is 79 years old, it can't work. We need youth for it to work. We really need youth. Today, when we look at the level of the current regime, the most intelligent children don't go to school. We need change.
I support him because he has a social project that suits me. And then for 43 years, we are a bit tired. I am from North Makonbi. We are tired of seeing the same things every day, so we need change.
As campaigning continues, Cameroon's voters will weigh experience against youthful energy, setting the stage for a potentially transformative election later this year.
Leaders, diplomats and experts gathered in Addis Ababa for the China-Africa Innovation Cooperation Day. The event focused on boosting partnerships in technology, science and sustainable development to help Africa advance its modernization goals.
Under the theme New Opportunities for Innovation Cooperation, Joining Hands to Realize Modernization, the event brought together senior diplomats, African Union commissioners, Chinese officials, leading experts and entrepreneurs.
China is willing to work with African countries to further strengthen the alignment of science and technology innovation strategies and policy communication, deeply implement the Belt and Road Initiative Science and Technology Innovation Action Plan and the China-Africa Science and Technology Partnership Program, and give full play to the supporting and leading role of science and technology innovation in the socio-economic development of China and Africa.
The event also included displays of technological innovations developed through China-Africa partnerships.
Under the strategic guidance of the Chinese and African leaders, supported strongly by the Belt and Road Initiative and the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, the scientific and technological partnership between China and Africa are growing with vigor and vitality and yielding fruitful results.
During the event, African universities and Chinese technology partners signed memorandums of understanding to enhance research, academic exchange, and capacity building.
We've got a very good relations with a number of universities in China, where we have signed agreements, staff and student exchange, so that we're able to send our students over there for them to learn, and also for some Chinese students to come over to South Africa for them to learn. We are doing that because we can only develop as a region, as the whole continent, not only maybe one particular country, but the whole of Africa, in our view, must begin to leverage technology, working with the Chinese government for us to be able to push our economies.
China has established over 60 Confucius Institutes and dozens of agricultural and research centers across Africa. and the partnership is now expanding to green technology, AI, and smart city planning.
Innovation cooperation is at the center of science diplomacy. It fosters political trust, strengthens economy, and enhances solidarity between Africa and China. By collectively investing in knowledge generation and innovation, we are laying the foundation of peace, resilience, and the dignity of our people.
Participants urge Chinese and African leaders to advance technology transfer. They say that deeper cooperation could help Africa bridge its innovation gap and achieve Agenda 2063's goal of inclusive modernization.
Somalia, once better known for instability, is turning to tourism as a driver of change as it opens its doors to more international visitors. Authorities have introduced a new electronic visa system aiming to simplify travel and strengthen the country's growing tourism industry.
Foreign visitors are slowly returning to Somalia, once a top holiday destination for many Western tourists, before decades of unrest. For newcomers, the experience is proving to be both eye-opening and heartwarming.
When we were flying in today, landing into Mogadishu, the beaches looked so beautiful and the waters looked very clear. There were people just lounging in like natural pools and stuff. And I think like there's a lot of coastline that can definitely be explored by tourists and foreigners. And I can't wait to see it for myself.
For many, their perception of Somalia's security has shifted after experiencing it firsthand.
I think it's just through getting the word of mouth out there that it is a lot safer than what people think to go and visit here, and easier. And so far from our experience, the people have been very friendly towards us.
Local shop owners say the return of visitors is already boosting their businesses.
We
receive several tourists in our shop, and we always welcome them warmly. Many are interested in Somali ornaments, traditionally jewelry, and gold necklaces and rings. They really love it.
According to Somalia's tourism department, the number of visitors rose by 50% last year. Tour and travel agencies are also reporting more bookings for flights and hotels.
The tourism sector in Somalia has improved a lot. We've seen new destinations, a positive shift in perception, and overall growth in arrivals. In 2023, we registered about 23 foreign tourists. This year, that number has reached 90, close to our target of 100. With policy changes like the e-visa system, we expect even more growth next year.
The hospitality industry is also picking up, with new beachside hotels and resorts opening to meet the rising demand.
On International Food Loss and Waste Awareness Day, attention turns to Nigeria, which leads Africa in food waste. Estimates show nearly 40% of food is lost each year, underlining the urgent need for solutions to address hunger and inefficiency.
The World Bank estimates that 40% of food in Nigeria is wasted every year. The UN Development Programme puts it at 187 kilograms of food per person per year, and almost 38 million tons of food waste in 1 year alone.
The value of the food that goes to waste in Nigeria in dollars is over $9 billion per year. So if you put that into perspective, a lot of the food that we produce, even from farm to fork, cost us a whole lot. And this can be happening whilst people can barely feed.
In Lagos, the Mile 12 market, one of the biggest food hubs in West Africa, paints the picture clearly. With no proper cold chain storage facility in place, piles of spoiled tomatoes, peppers and vegetables are thrown away daily. Traders also attribute this loss to bad roads as they transport their goods from the north of the country to Lagos in the south.
And usually when there is a glut and we are unable to sell off quickly,
Our products all go bad because they are perishable items, so we have no choice but to throw them away and absorb the loss. It's even worse now as people are not buying as before.
It's a contradiction for a city where many cannot afford a single meal, and at the same time, disposing of the food waste poses environmental challenges.
Most of the waste now goes to the landfill, where it decomposes into a variety of byproducts. The most dangerous one is methane, which contributes a significant amount to greenhouse gases that cause global warming.
Non-profits like the Lagos Food Bank Initiative are stepping in, rescuing surplus food and redistributing it to those in need. Periodically, many indigents gather at their facility to receive food, which has become a lifesaver for many.
I'm a widow with no job and money. My friends actually directed me here. I thank God that when I got here, I was well treated and given food handouts that will last me for a while.
But compared to the amount of food waste in the city, the Lagos Food Bank Initiative is a drop in an ocean. Experts say the solution lies in stronger food storage systems, better transportation, and policies that support food recovery. At the moment, Nigeria does not have a clear-cut, comprehensive national food waste policy, but it does have policies on reducing post-harvest losses. Experts say this has to change if the country is really serious about tackling food waste.
The Economic Community of West African States say it will strengthen regional security with a large-scale troop deployment. Officials added that the plan aims to tackle persistent insurgencies and instability across the region.
Several countries in West Africa have for years been battling security concerns, such as insurgencies and clashes between farmers and herders, among others. The situation has led to killings and destruction of properties. Security analysts say putting together troops from various nations to address the challenges is a step in the right direction.
The effort by ECOWAS now is actually commendable, because without security, whatever we are talking about economic integration, we are not going to see the effect of it. Indigenes of the member states of ECOWAS have gone through a number of, would I say, warfare, insurgency, crisis. And they have been displaced from their natural homes and are now living in internally displaced people's camps scattered all over the region.
According to ECOWAS, the region, especially the Sahel sub-region, has become the epicenter of terrorism globally, accounting for 51% of global terrorism deaths in 2024. And there are fears things could get worse. According to former Nigerian External Affairs Minister and Ambassador to the United Nations, Ibrahim Gambari, Africa is currently contending with over 1,000 insurgent groups. Security analysts say the plans by ECOWAS to deploy over 250,000 troops annually has great potential of ensuring a more peaceful region, but they say it needs to reach out to Mali, Niger Republic and Burkina Faso, who pulled out of the bloc in January this year, to ensure their return for better results.
Some of the security gaps will occur in some of these nations, and since you don't have a good rapport with them, how do you share intelligence? If we're able to get almost 300 from 13 strong members of ECOWAS, I imagine we would have gotten maybe 400,000 troops on ground if Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger had not pulled out.
It's unclear when the deployment of the 250,000 troops will take off. ECOWAS says it is engaging member states on how to raise funds for the counter-terrorism force. It is also working towards sustained dialogue and reconciliation to get Mali, Niger Republic and Burkina Faso back on the bloc. Pending when these efforts are implemented, insecurity in West Africa may continue.
Well, that's all we have today in African News. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to A News.